Banyan Boulevard improvements.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm actually going to introduce you to the project manager of Vladimir Jeannot.
Oh, okay.
He's
All
going
right.
to be presenting on this, but I'll be right here.
Okay, I just had you on the agenda. Okay. Vladimir, thank you. Yes.
Good morning, commissioners and mayor. And today, as when introduced, my name is Vladimir Jeannot, and I'm gonna be talking to you on the Banyan improvement project that is planned that is being proposed right now. And the team members of that project is myself, also with the CIA Deputy Director Allison Justice. We have WGI, which is our project designer, and also with Whiting Turner, which is our CMA, our construction manager at risk, which is planning on building this project, making it a reality. And today we'll talk about some on the agenda is the overall project limit, as well as the proposed typical sections and the project goals, which we have two, safety and streetscape. Allison will talk about that, and also the public outreach efforts that we have planned, that we're continuing to plan for this project, as well as the schedule and budget. And the overall project limit is from Australian Avenue to Flagler Drive, which is about 1.25 miles. So basically, we are targeting the entire Banyan Blvd corridor. And why so? Well, the road is basically in deplorable condition, as we can see. Some, with pavement, some section missing, things like that. So when we first of all tried to make this project happen, we looked at resurfacing, and also then we saw the opportunity that we can also upgrade some of the features on that road. So we talked with the CIA, which are actually funding this project to make it become a reality. And some of the typical section that we see we'll have sidewalk, bike lanes, which is a one-way cycle track elevated, that's next to the sidewalk. We'll have planting area, 20 foot of travel lane, which is 10 feet, 2 lanes in each direction, west and eastbound. And that goes on along to the south side of the corridor. And that typical section will be from Australian all the way to Dixie. Then from Dixie to Flagler, we transverse into a shared lane. We have 7 to 18 foot sidewalk, 8 foot parking, 10 foot shared lane with a bike and automobile, as well as on the other side, on the south side, same thing. And when I mentioned to you that this project is based on safety, and when we were looking at the design, we looked at the intersections, how to make it safe for all users, bikes, pedestrian, also automobile. So we look at that, and that's how we come up with our design. So some of the safety features that you will see on this project, we look at lighting. We will upgrade lighting throughout the corridor. ADA accessibility, make it accessible for everyone. And also, we'll have traffic calming. The lanes right now are 12 feet. We are the proposed plan is to reduce the lanes to 10 feet. And we have coordinated with all the stakeholders, Palm Beach County, Palm Trend, Federal Courthouse, the Judicial Palm Beach Courthouse. We have coordinated with them to make sure that those are feasible for them. And also, we're looking at signalization throughout the corridor. Some signalization will not be upgraded, but those that are important will be, and that's how we have targeted the project. And also, as mentioned, that we looked at we talked in coordination with Palm Trend with the transit facility. So those are the overall safety component of this project. And Allison will give you an overview on the streetscape.
Quick question from Madam President.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I just want to make sure I understood. Currently, the lanes there on all of Banyan are 12 feet or just in this section?
Mostly the 12-foot lanes are from Australian all the way to Dixie.
Okay.
And then I think for east of that, I think it's a little bit, I think it's about 12 foot as well, but we will be.
And we're recommending 10 feet the whole entire way?
Correct, yes.
Yes, 10 feet from edge of pavement to edge of pavement, but as we designed this typical section, there's like two things that we're asked to look at. One is to preserve capacity at the intersection. So this is still a very important collector road for our city. So we want to make sure that we have enough vehicle capacity at that moment. The other thing that we're doing is like 20 feet, 2 10-foot lanes, but we're leveraging the outside gutter. So it's essentially because part of our design will allow us to use the gutter. So it's 11 foot on the outside so that we could accommodate bus traffic along there.
Great, thank you.
Good morning, Allison Justice. I would just want to talk a little bit about the CRA's involvement in this project. Again, as Vladimir mentioned, the city did have dollars in place for a road resurfacing project. The CRA had been talking for a couple of years, actually, on the connections from the historic Northwest to downtown. Banyan is an important collector road, but it's kind of that visible boundary from downtown. And how do we make it so it's not such a boundary and it doesn't cut off the neighborhoods from each other? So when we started looking at this project, the CRA was interested in those connections. So really, Rosemary is an important intersection from coming from the historic Northwest, also making it easy to cross. So as far as having the median is helpful to give people refuge if we can. The design overview has additional trees. Obviously, shade is important in the city. Lighting, the cycle track. The cycle track was part of the bicycle master plan that the city implemented, as well as the mobility study. So this is not just a mobility project. It's it's safety, it's mobility, it's a bike project as well. So it covers all of those items. So I think now we just have a few of the photos. The intersections will be paver intersections. We do have the cycle track again that is painted or colored pavers across the intersection to give a distinct crossing for pedestrians and for bicyclists. This is the intersection potentially at Rosemary, which will have an entire design of its own, again, to enhance that intersection, letting the vehicles know this is a place that you should be slowing down and paying attention here. Again, these are some of the design features. We are maintaining the bus stops. We're working with Palmtran on where potential future shelters will go there. Also, to help with some of the drainage, a rain garden is going to be placed on the outside, on the curb line in certain areas to help with some of the drainage challenges along Banyan. And again, here's just some overviews, some renderings of what it will potentially look like. Is that all we have here? That's the intersection of Tamarind and Banyan. There's a couple things to note. We are preserving the black olive trees that are on Banyan they're mainly between Sapodilla and Tamarind, and they are on the outside of the sidewalk. So typical section will be a little bit different because we like to put the trees towards the road because it helps protect the pedestrians, it helps slow the traffic as well. On here, they will be at the backs of the curbs. There is shade already there. We do want to maintain what we have there. So some of the typical sections will look a little bit different as we go from Tamarind to Sapodilla and then from Sapodilla on.
And also, one thing to mention about the trees is that we are installing soil cells to actually, when the tree grows, that they have space, not uplifting our sidewalk that we currently face right now. And now about the stakeholders and outreach that we have done, we've talked to FEC, SFRTA, Palm Beach County, the federal courthouse and one parking, Palm Beach County and PBSO officers, Connect WPB. We also had a public outreach meeting for all to know about this project, and also we still have upcoming outreach that is planned for this project with the Northwest, with the DDA, the merchant meeting, and even which will be our next step after having these meetings is to come to the face of the city for approval of this project. And this is our anticipated schedule and budget. So our initial budget for this project from Whiting Turner came at 20 million. And we are planning to have the plans completed by the end of next month. And then before we start construction in January, we'll have a public outreach meeting again, so that will be a pre-construction meeting for all the merchant and stakeholders of this project. And we intend to start this project in March 2020. And right now we have a 2-year schedule for this project, so that it will be completed we anticipate it to be completed by March 2022. And on this slide, you'll see we have an information line, which we hired Veronica Cooper from Cooper Construction to be our public outreach agent. And this is the line that we've given to anyone who needs information on this project. And also we'll work on our website and making sure that that is accessible also on our website.
Okay, so it's a $20 million project.
Yes.
What's the source of the funding?
That is from the bond project. From the CIA, we currently have 15.5 million.
Okay.
Let's get fitted for that. Yes.
About 3 years ago, just to add to that, how this project originated was it was identified as purely a resurfacing project out of the $40 million bond. So 1.1 million out of that bond was dedicated towards this project. Obviously, we spent up to that amount already in design fees and excavations and exploration as part of this project. So it's going to be joint funding, and we're looking towards the CRA bond to make this project whole.
Okay, any questions, commissioners? Okay, very good. I would say we look forward to Banyan being closed, but we don't look forward to. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.